do much more mistakes in order to become profitable, because in the end, you can't be perfect on your first trade. I think no one in this world has ever become like perfect. Do your best, do your own mistakes, because it will give you a learning.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another TFT interview. Today I have the pleasure to host John, who comes from Italy. He is a real estate agent, and in the country of most other traders that are growing their capital with trading and investing it in real estate, he decided to do the opposite. Hello John and welcome.
Hello.
So can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you into trading?
Yeah, sure. So I'm John. I'm 23 years old. Like you said, I live in Italy, and I started trading for the past 5 years. And just recently this year, I've come up with you guys as the funded trader. So yeah.
Amazing. And how did you get started? Was it a friend who introduced you, or you found it on internet?
So no, I found it through mutual friends that they started. Matter of fact, I've seen them for this year, and they suggested me to, I didn't want to lose so much capital to go with the funding trading. So I've seen as you guys, the funded traders, and I've been doing good, and it is a good service that you're giving me for this one.
Yeah. And how did you find TFT? How was your experience with us?
So TFT for me was a game changer, if you say like that. And because of it, I've seen like the fees are very, very interesting, because if a new trader, for example, didn't want to trade so much capital, no risk at all, there's always the fund trader that could give you the amount of capital and of course trade with that. And if you're being profitable, having huge margins of revenues, or we could just say profits as well.
Yeah. And what do you like the most with TFT? And what would you like us to improve?
So no, with TFTs, I think I'm like thinking that the thing that I really like about TFT is that even if you're a new trader and you give some certain results, it motivates you to profit more. And matter of fact, for example, my account for the past 2 months that I did some good results, it added me more liquidity to trade more, and in order to get more margins. So the thing that I really like to TFT is that it incentivizes you to do more. And obviously, if you do more and if you do well, it gives you more benefits than I think right now that not every the other funding trading are not giving. So yeah.
So can you please tell us a little bit about your learning curve? Like how you, from the moment you started, did you join any trading communities? Did you have mentors? How was the learning process?
So when I started trading, okay, it wasn't really easy, because obviously trading alone and learning alone, it was very, very hard initially, because you don't have no mentors. But at the same time, it was the more that you pass on your own mistakes. I think when you blow accounts, the more you understand how trading functions. So you pass, and of course, I refine my skills to trading, and I've met people. Initially, I've met some community groups via Telegram, and with that, maybe obviously exchanging some ideas or some things. But at the time I wasn't very yet profitable, but like just last year, maybe I've met some people in real person that really helped me out to do a gap to do better. And yeah, this year I'm doing very, very much more than the past 4 years that I started trading when I was 18 years old.
And did you like try different strategies? Was it easy for you to find a strategy that suits your personality, or you had to shift a lot and learn from different parts and then combine it somehow?
So, no, I really shifted from strategies to strategies. Maybe the classic one would be a MACD, or maybe other strategies that it didn't suit me as a person, and maybe how I traded, because it is very important that for your own personality should suit you a certain trade. And especially for what I'm doing right now, because I do another work that is a real estate agent. It takes me a lot of time. In the course of these years, I made up my own strategy. Of course, I don't trade every day. I'm an occasional trader, and whenever I have the chance and see that it is doing well, or maybe a market that goes on what I'm expecting, I just go there and maybe taking more lots and getting more margins. So yeah.
What was the hardest part in the learning curve? Like, what did you struggle with the most, and how did you overcome those struggles?
So what I've come with the most is presumably the fear, the emotions that comes up into your mind, because obviously I think that when you're a new trader, it's hard for you to maintain a constant of being calm of yourself. And maybe some days that, for example, you have a trade and you need to go to sleep. You can't just sleep, so you check always your charts. So just go back and go you need to trust on your own strategy and on the process, because you can't be profitable if you don't know your mistakes. So like for me, for example, I did a lot of mistakes. I blown up many accounts before becoming a profitable trader. But I think that it is how you set up some strategies, and obviously from experience too, could make you a better person, and make but it's not a better trade next time. There's always an opportunity every day, and it's not the end, because the market doesn't really care if you're winning or losing, so you need to just go to the flow with whatever happens.
Yeah, I totally agree. So your struggle was mainly fear. What kind of fear? Was it fear to enter? Was it fear of losing, missing out?
Well, it was more a fear of losing money primarily, because whenever I think of trading, most of the time I back off these some opportunities. That I say, what if I lose this money? What if I can recover this money? If, for example, I lose a trade, I go and do a revenge trade. That it's a huge no for a trader, and so it was that thing that I've tried. I've mastered from the course of the years, to not have this fear to lose money and just let it go. In the end, even though if you didn't trade or you missed the trade, you can't really know if you're doing great as a trader or a bad trader. So in the end, I think it's all mistakes, because doing mistakes makes perfect, you could just say. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all of us are making mistakes, and we're learning from our mistakes in order to get better and better. And what was the biggest lesson from all the mistakes that you've done?
So my biggest lesson was that obviously not to worry about how it will go, but how I think you've seen your strategy. Just focus on what you're doing as your own strategy without hitting all these emotions, because I think that on the long run, if you think like that, your ego will eat you up and it could become very pernicious. But the lesson that I've learned is to be patient. Be patient, because a lot of people aren't very patient, and sometimes you can become very greedy and want everything from yourself. And from that, you could just there's a possibility that you could blow up your account. So being calm, not to fear of not losing money, and especially trust the process. Trust the process of what you did, and never back up. Just retest it. Just don't shift to another style of another. Just trust with it, because in the end, there's no perfect thing.
Yeah, perfection does not exist.
Unfortunately, not.
Yeah. What have you done to improve your psychology? Have you read any books? Are you listening to podcasts? Maybe meditation, something like that?
Yeah. So initially, I've started reading books when I started. Maybe when I was a real estate agent, some books about how to sell, because there's some connections, if we could just say, from trading and from being in real estate, is that there's a lot of emotions. For example, on our sector of real estate agent, a lot of no's really demotivates you to just continue, but you need to be persistent. So in that too, you have the emotion that says, just leave it, don't do this anymore. It would be a waste of time, but at the same time, you needed to push. You can't really just drop everything that you did. So you need to persist and persist. And with that, I've surpassed somehow my emotions of having huge no's from other people. As from trading too, that maybe some trades that I did, I've made huge loss. Not to take it personally, but to see my own mistakes and correct myself next time. There's a lot of there's always a possibility, a opportunity on everything. So it's not the end, basically. Just because one thing went wrong doesn't mean that the rest of your life would be all wrong. It goes, sometimes it goes good, sometimes it is a lesson. So.
Yeah. So psychology is in everything, and both real estate and trading are businesses. So have you noticed something like, if things are going well with real estate, that the same thing is on the charts, you perform good, and then the opposite, if you perform bad on the charts, then you start performing bad with real estate as well? Have you noticed something like that?
I've noticed a lot of similarities. Obviously, the two things they interpret in another way, but the concept is the same. We could just say, for example, you may on the trading business, you've made a setup and you've seen so many positive hints, and you just go and expect that to go on what you're perceiving. Likewise, on real estate, you like maybe close the house. You're extremely happy that you just close the deal and everything. But maybe on the hard times, for example, on the trading business, where the market that you've expected that it should go abruptly goes on the other side, and you were unexpected. Same thing on real estate, that it involves a lot of people. So there's other external emotions. And let me just talk with you by experience that I've had recently. Like, I closed a deal from this person. We were very happy. We did very good. But the people that were selling their own apartment strangely didn't want to sell it anymore, and they have, I don't know, maybe they shifted their emotions, just caught up, and obviously we are on a position where it was very difficult. So from that experience too, I see some similarities on trading and real estate. There's a lot of similarities, basically.
Yeah. So, and in my opinion, this is just showing how mindset is important in every single field in life. Because I have noticed myself that if I'm doing bad in one thing, I start doing bad in everything. If I'm doing bad in one thing, then I start doing good in everything. So this is kind of like showing me that everything is kind of a mindset game. So that's why I wanted to ask you if you have noticed something similar, like I've noticed.
No, I noticed a lot, because in the end, I think that generally it involves with emotions. People are driven so much with what they're doing, so you can't really tell. It's unpredictable. As the market maybe sometimes could be unpredictable. Likewise, many people on real life are very unpredictable. So there's a lot of similarities that just come up, but I say in general, it could become real estate, maybe I don't know, have a business of becoming a barman, etc.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There is lots of uncertainty involved in both the businesses. Yeah. Would you like to share your screen and show us how you approach the charts and how you do the analysis? How you choose the entries, stop loss, target profit.
Okay, so I'm going to show you with my phone. So I'll just go in here. And basically, what I do is putting on a higher time frame, because since I'm doing
you're a swing trader, right?
I'm a swing trader, basically. So what I do is maybe watch my time frame on, for example, an hour or a 4-hour time frame, and see the market and see the news. And what I do is that if I see some confirmation, for example, at this one that I did last time, like I put my own trade here and just go long. I don't use any stop loss or top profits, because when I see that it is a top profit, I just go and close it. And sometimes too, it does work, but sometimes when I don't get the closing, it can become very sour when I just close and maybe lost some capital from the funding account. But basically, it's just seeing some confirmations, opening the lot size, and then when I see that it is positive, I put other lot size too. And when I see that I put some alarms with it, and I see that it goes on my target, I just close immediately without doing any hesitation. Obviously, there was sometimes that maybe I see that it goes against on my trade, so I lost huge chunks of money, but at the same time, from those mistakes, I've still recovered some I made some profits, and so somehow it is all balanced too.
Yeah, and I saw that you had, was it the Airside divergence? I mean, not divergence, Airside indicator. Or what was the thing that you had at the bottom?
At the bottom is like, how could I say? Is basically the point where I started trading here. So there's the upside that I'm seeing. So it just went back down, and just for example this one, just going back down, and I see this opportunity that is doing some retest and it's not going back down. So I just put all this up, okay, and so it's gonna go at you a reverse. So I put the reverse sign. And at the same time, I just go and do the trade and take my own profits. So in the end, that is.
Okay, and the blue line that you have down there, is it an indicator?
No, I set myself up.
That one, yes.
Okay, no, I don't really use this one. I just used mainly the upper one. So it has nothing to do with the down here. That is the other side. I don't really use indicators much. Maybe occasionally, but rarely.
So do you do like top-down analysis from weekly, daily chart?
So I do it mostly on a daily, because when I see a daily, maybe I program, for example, in a week. So and daily, and so if I open during the week, maybe on Monday, I try to open it, and for a couple of days I let it there, and if it goes where it's supposed, I think it's supposed to go, I just close it. Yeah. So this is my style that I'm doing right now. So if I didn't have so much time dedicating from the other side, maybe I would have done a daytime trading. So focusing on minutes, or if not, hours.
And what time frame do you use to execute?
My like the hour on.
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever I see the opportunity, I always try to trade here in Europe during at night. Okay, and when I see that it has so many confirmations, I just do my trade, go back to sleep, and see in the early morning that if it went well, then I'll just close it. Or if it's still going on the long or just going down, I'll just leave it there for a couple of hours or a couple of days and see how it will exchange. Obviously, I do this because it is very much more easy for me, because during the day I can't trade. So the only time that I can trade is during nights. So whenever I see
it's Asia session.
Yeah, majority of Asia session. But if I see some other trade, like when I see a news and I see if it does like it goes on what I expected, maybe I just even do it during the day. But it is very rarely that I do maybe American or European time. So I just much more do with the Asian time, because they're open. It's a bit slow, but for me it's perfect, because at least I could manage how to get some profits.
Yeah, it's your schedule. And do you have any favorite pairs that you trade, or you have like a diversified portfolio?
No, I have a diversified portfolio. So I usually take maybe, I don't know, yen or dollars, or if not, Swiss francs with yen, or Australian dollar. So I have so many portfolios, but mainly from the Asian time, because obviously those are the times that I do. So I don't really have any preferences, but my portfolios are affected from the Asians.
But is it mainly forex pairs, or you trade also commodities and indices?
No, only forex pairs.
Only forex pairs. And like you said that you're not putting any stop loss or target profit, you're just waiting for a price to go where you were expecting it.
Yeah,
And
right.
do you use alerts so that you can know when to exit the trade?
I put alerts every time that I trade because obviously if my trade goes against what I'd expected, I need to put always my alert because it's like still the stop loss, but at least I'm just seeing that, or the thing that maybe I'm not putting stop loss or top profit is because maybe, yeah, it could just go to the alert. I'll just see it and see if it goes under maybe the alert that I put it, or if else it's only a fake alert and will go elsewhere. So sometimes I just put these alerts just to be sure, and obviously it's much more flexible for me to trade like that. Because sometimes when you put stop loss, yeah, you just do the stop loss and maybe that trade just went against from like going back from where you expected. So for me, it could become very counterproductive.
And do you have like fixed risk, or you like how are you managing the risk in this case? Do you have like fixed percentage risk per trade, or you have like different kind of managing the risk?
I have a different manage of risk because every trade that I do, I examine and I see like the percentage or like the return, the RR, which is
risk to reward.
The risk to reward that I'm seeing. So for me, it's much more variable. It's not fixed because I want to see myself what's happening, and for me, it's giving me it's a good thing for me till to this day. That I don't know if on the long run it could be.
And do you take partials on the way? Like when the position is going in your way, do you close partials, or you just wait for the price to come to your expected level and then you close the whole position at once?
So when I see, even here, so when I see that it is okay for me, for example, if the profit goes on my alert, I just close it. But if it goes against on my trade, I'll just like maybe partially see if it's very dire, then I'll just close it. If it's only a temporary loss, and maybe I don't know, in a couple of hours or in a couple of days, it will go on the backside and maybe go on a pair, I'll just leave it there and yeah.
What is the maximum amount that you're risking per position?
It's much more, it's different. Sometimes I could just risk it all and just blow up my account, or sometimes I just put maybe 20%, 30% on.
Isn't it hard for you to deal with it emotionally? For example, me personally, if I don't have a stop loss and if I don't have everything.
I mean, yes, yeah, it is true, but because for my own personality, I want to check like what's happening. I need to like mostly stuck up on the south end and see if it will go well or if will go badly. But because I try to like whenever I trade during at night, close possibly during the day, so the time frame of night or just in a couple of days. But I prefer to see it and not to like stay there without thinking of it. So I just prefer for my own personality and trading, I just do it and
yeah. What advices would you give to yourself if you are just getting started?
So my advice, if I started right now, a version of me is do much more mistakes in order to become profitable, because in the end you can't be perfect on your first trade. Like I think no one in this world has ever become like perfect on being a trader since day one. So for myself is like do your best, do your own mistakes because it will give you a learning. Okay, so much
Experience.
yeah. So experience, in order to become very profitable in a matter of in a span of a short time. That's what I think of myself if I started trading right now.
And what are your future goals with trading and with real estate, like in general?
So I'm very I'm hesitating right now because since I'm started trading and doing profit, maybe one day I hope to trade fully and on the real estate, not just become only a real estate agent, but maybe buying properties and flipping houses. That's my intent, maybe in the next 5 years, we can just say. So, yeah, focus more on trading and maybe flipping more houses on the long run.
Yeah, nice. Do you have any last words that you would like to share with us?
I want to say something for the new traders, or especially guys that are entering from the funding account. That if it is a good opportunity to take this time, because I think that if you don't really want to risk a lot of capital, there's always the funding account that it could alleviate maybe your own capital. Because, for example, on my own trading account, on the 100,000 capital, I'm doing so much progress. I don't have the capacity to have a 100,000 on my bank account and just transfer it on my MetaTrader.
Yeah.
But it is a good thing to not to risk so much, but to start trading and to see how it really works. And obviously, it could stimulate you a lot rather than just taking your own capital and having that huge pressure that's just saying I've just lost everything that I've worked into, and just to trade with the funded account. That's it.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here and sharing your experience with us. And wish you good luck with all your goals that you have for the future.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the interview.
It's my pleasure. To all of you watching, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below, and hit the notification bell. Good luck with your trading, and until next time.